Hello everybody, welcome to another Beer Reviews. Today we're going to be going for a drink from Brewmeister up in Scotland, and this is Hopped to the Gates of Hell. This is a 5%, from what I can probably best describe it, it doesn't actually send the ball, but it's an IPA style. It's just an extremely hoppy beer. Brewmeister have kind of come into notoriety because they deigned to take on Brewdog in producing the world's most alcoholic beer, so they currently hold the record, I believe. It says on the side here, this bold beer adheres to the Brewmeister motto of pushing the boundaries of brewing. We fuel this beer with bucket loads of lovely hops during the boil, delivering a unique hoppy beer. Brewmeister pushes the limits of brewing using using unique and wacky brewing techniques. You could say that we are brewing pioneers. We only use 4 ingredients: Scottish spring water, malt, yeast, and hops. Our crazy head brewer exploits their goodness to deliver you some of the world's best beer. Unlike the industrial brewing giants of our microbrewery in the Scottish Hills, does not add nasty chemicals, pasteurise or force carbonate our beers. So yeah, it's got sediment at the bottom, so it's bottle conditioned beer. So without further ado, it's got a plain little cap on it, but I quite like the styling on the bottle. It's just nice, plain and simple, not too crazy on artwork or anything. That's pretty cool. Hey, loads of smoke coming off the top, which is always a good sign. Using a Belgian beer glass because I kind of feel like it today, but that should hopefully give us a nice amount of head. And it pours a very, very typical IPA colour, that kind of deep amber colour. I've seen this 100 times before in different IPAs. Although, having said that, it's a little bit darker, so it might have a bit more darker grain quality, and it may have some more roasted and toasty kind of flavours in it. We shall never know. A nice amount of head, a little bit of a 2-finger head. This is quite a round, large glass as well. It's kind of deep and round bottom, so it wouldn't get as much head as normal, but it's sticking around that head as well, and it laces like a dream. Can you see that? It kind of goes up and down the side of the glass wonderfully. So let's get a nose on it, see what we can smell. And yeah, with a name like Hopped to the Gates of Hell, it was always going to just smell of hops through and through. It smells delicious. The number one thing that I'm getting through in this is mango. I'm getting a really distinct smell of mango. I've just done a homebrew using citra hops, which is meant to give quite a kind of mangoey flavour as well. And it's exactly the same sort of smell on this beer as I was getting on my homebrew. Oh, it smells delightful. It just smells like fruit juice. The best fruit juice you could ever get around. It's so juicy. I don't know how to describe it. It's an absolute joy. It really is. It smells so sweet and luscious. Oh, I can't wait to get my teeth into this one. I'm just trying to find a little bit of malt body behind it, but it's going to be so difficult for any malt flavours to come through when the beer just smells this blitzingly, delightfully fruity. So, without further ado, cheers guys, let's crack into a good beer. Ooh! That was not the flavour I was expecting at all. There's a lot more biscuit in it. It doesn't taste very fruity at all, actually. Let's go for a second run. I think I've been very unlucky. I think I might have got, I want to say this has got cardboardy flavours in it. The malt body's really got a bitter cardboardy flavour, like the malts, like the barley's been overboiled. It's a really unusual flavour. I hope that's really odd. That it doesn't have any of those fresh fruity flavours. It's very mild bitterness, but strange flavour from the malt body. I'm kind of getting biscuit, but cardboard's the best way I can describe it, and only through doing a bit of brewing myself do I know that cardboard's an off flavour and something that shouldn't. Well, obviously you don't want to be tasting cardboard in a beer, but it's got a very unusual. It's a very odd taste. I'm not sure if that's supposed to be in the beer or not, because it is just dwarfing all the flavours, everything else in the beer. It's just this kind of weird cardboardy taste, and then a little bit of bitterness, and there's no fruity flavours coming through. that is a bit disappointing. I'm not entirely sure if I enjoy that as a flavour. It's not ticking boxes for me. It's a bit unusual, and it's a crying shame because the beer smells so nice. It just does smell really mangoey, and I like mangoes a lot. And the beer just seems to have, it seems to have this cardboardy flavour, and I can only put it down to some kind of brewing error, or maybe there's been an infection in the bottle. It's not an infected batch because that tastes very distinct and very sour and funky. Kind of, tastes sour and funky. This doesn't. It has this really bitter, astringent malt flavour, and I don't think that's right. I will probably hang fire on a reserve judgment for this if I get my hands on another bottle of it. But in its current form, in the bottle that I have received, this beer has got a problem with it, in my opinion. There is a very strange flavour in the malt, and it is just taking all the flavour out of the beer. So it happens to the best of us. This is why you sanitise equipment and why you try your best, but as always, something could possibly go wrong. I don't know, it hasn't got a best by date on the bottle, but if the bottle's out for being for forever in a day in the warehouse, so it's been light struck or something like that, that could be a problem too. Could be over oxygenated when they were pouring it or bottling it, and too much oxygen in your beer causes off flavours as well. And I know that sounds surreal, but when you're bottling it, you need to try and get as little amount of oxygen as possible, just enough for the yeast to propagate, but not enough that it's going to change and affect the flavour of your beer. So, rather a bit unfortunate, Brewmeister, but benefit of the doubt, I'll hang fire on every of your beer until I get my hands on a bottle that hasn't got this weird cardboardy off flavour to it. So, maybe I should go grab a different beer instead and try that one out. Until next time, guys. Cheers. Oh, and indeed, please tell me if you've had a bottle of this and you get the same flavour as well, and whether you enjoy that or not. To me, it tastes off. It seems to be counterintuitive to the beer and to what I think they want to achieve with the beer. So if it's meant to be there, I don't think it works. And if it is an off flavour, which I suspect it is, then just unfortunate, really. So I shall see you all again next time. Thank you, guys.